have it, we actually happen to have an accountant here today. It's America's accountant. He's joining us from Nutley, New Jersey. Please welcome to the show, Dan Geltrude. Dan, could your divorced spouse put you in the clink?
In more ways than one. Listen, Scott, when we're talking about audits, let's get something clear here in that the audit lottery, which all of us are playing in, is way in your favor. So on average, the chance of you being audited as an average taxpayer is less than 1%. If you're making between $1 million and $10 million, it's only about 1.8%. And if you're over 10 million, it's just a little under 9%, which that's where you fall in, Scott. But for the rest of us, you're talking about less than a 2% chance of being audited. So although everybody does fear these audits and nobody wants to be under the microscope of the IRS, it is way in your favor that you're not going to get selected.
All right, so this reminds me of the story, and this is off topic a little bit, but this reminds me of when we talked about the government hiring 87,000 IRS agents, right, to go after people. Nobody likes to hear about that, and that plan really hasn't been scrapped as of yet. But where do you stand when there is the talk of, you know, the wealthier you are, the more you contest and throw lawyers at the problem versus the little guy that's got the corner shop and is just a small proprietor? Those people end up usually going, "Uncle, I'll pay right away." And it seems as though I am led to believe that the government goes after the small proprietor more often because they don't fight as much and they say uncle a lot sooner rather than going after somebody that's got a bunch of lawyers and a lot of money behind them. What do you think about that?
Well, there's certainly an argument that that could be true, Scott. But look, if we break this down a little bit, the IRS keeps all the historic information related to the results of audits, and they look to see where they're making their money. So when you look at the situation here, the IRS has a return on investment. They're going to spend their time where it's easiest to get their money, meaning the least amount of time. So yes, if you have a group of people that really can't put up a fight, they seem to be an easier target. However, even though the rich have the ability to hire a whole team of accountants and lawyers, there's far more to get from them because the numbers are larger. So although I hear what you're saying, the IRS is still targeting those higher income people simply because there's more to get when they're there.
So I know this is, kind of right down your alley, and maybe there's not a really good answer to this next question, and I shouldn't ask a question I don't know the answer to, but what would you say would be the biggest misconceptions that taxpayers have about the IRS? I mean, what fears maybe are unjustified, or is there anything that they could do to make themselves feel a little bit better about this time of year?
Look, Scott, if you are not cheating on your taxes, you have nothing to worry about. So the vast majority of people are not doing anything wrong on their tax return, at least on purpose. So if you're falling into that category, there's no reason to be worried. Now, that doesn't mean that an IRS audit won't be painful. They almost always are. But if you're doing the right thing, there's nothing to worry about. However, if you're a cheater, then you have plenty to worry about, because when the IRS sinks their teeth into a case where they believe that people intentionally are not paying all the taxes due, well, then you have a real problem, no matter how much money you make and no matter how many lawyers and accountants you hire to defend you.
Yeah, I'm going to add a little levity to the situation. Number one, my father always said that he loved paying a lot of tax, and I'd always ask him why. He says, because that means I made a lot of money. Right. And so that was a good answer. I like the way he looked at it that way. And number two is that, everybody knows I spent 16 years living in London, and around the corner from where I had a place out in the country was the gentleman that invented income tax for the Crown back when the Crown was almost about to go broke. And I'm led to believe that income tax in its first iteration, Dan, was just a temporary thing. Is there anything is there anything you can say about that?
Taxes always start off as temporary, right? That's how they get sold. Over here in New Jersey, with all the toll roads we have for the highways, those were put in place simply to pay for improvements and to have the roads built. And you know what? They never went away, and they're higher than ever. So there goes that.
All right, we're going to end on that. That's great stuff. Really appreciate you coming on. You made everybody feel better about their taxes. Thanks for being on. Dan Geltrude, Nutley, New Jersey, thanks for being on the show. Let's take a look at